Voice chat knows. What stock is that? Do not search the group. Welcome to Read the Room 2.0 with Unc. What is up, everybody? This is Unc coming at you with Read the Room 2.0, the shorts, EDU focused. Going over the scripts again, the real basic ones starting off there and working our way in, kind of easing our way in these sessions. Gonna do two today: daily high, low, and daily RTL. Pre-market high and low, and then your previous day's highs and lows. We're gonna talk about those a little bit. So yeah, let's save some time because we're gonna keep these short and pop it up. So yeah, here we go. Daily high and low, which is Thinkorswim swim script, and then daily auto RTL, which is a custom script, just showing the pre-market highs and lows and the previous day. So the pre-market is a little darker here. You can see on my screen. You can make these whatever color you want, but I like the yellow because I don't use yellow for much. Um, so these are your pre-market highs and lows. The high from the pre-market session. Again, those only populate for one day, and then it goes to the next day. They don't stay on the chart. But the previous day high and low, which are these lighter yellow lines, they do stay on the chart. And very important, very respectful. Just to go through a couple charts real quick. I don't want to do CGC, but yeah, like Shake Shack here. I got a 10 and a 15 up just so we can see a little bit more. If I get zoomed in, maybe I'll throw a 5 on it. But yeah, you can just kind of see zones and trends really well. If you turn the candles off, you could probably still trade just the two lines if you knew these lines and the price. Very tradable. So also well respected through the day. So if you're a day trader, especially on larger equities, it's great. Oh, I didn't think about that. Works really, really, really well. Here, let me think of a couple right now. How about BHC? No, we already took off. Works really, really well, Chewy, then, with stocks that are around levels. Looking for that consolidation, then they line up here. So, I mean, kind of see on Chewy, good example. Did have a little bit of downside here. I'm on 10 days, so about 10 day within 10 days ago, 2 weeks ago, was a little bit unlevel, but man, worked right up. Coming down here and respecting it again, kind of a support and resistance flips. The daily levels though would help you get an entry. 32s today, obviously, kind of a no-brainer. That's where it was at all day. As a respected level, if you day traded it, probably not enough range on Chewy today for that. But those levels are very consistent if you're going to day trade, moving in and out of zones. A lot of times you'll get secondary moves off of pre-market high or pre-market high or previous day high. So they're good to know where they are on the chart. If you do use Thinkorswim, a little teaser, a little check with you here though. But the scripts and colors, another reason why I kind of have all my scripts a little bit of a different color. Did that just jump? Give me 29. Because your indicators come up right here. So there's daily auto RTL, gives you the price and everything right there. So bam. Um, we're in the middle of a session, so I don't know how these are going to populate currently. But yeah, you can see they come up in there. So knowing your daily high and low level, it's just kind of all right there for you. Yeah, they haven't flipped yet, so it looks a little different. There's your pre-market right there. Um, Go to something with a little more volume on the day, because that's I think you get more reaction or more movement around the levels with more volume, obviously. So you're gonna see a little bit better moves, not only on bigger stocks, but stocks with more volume. How they're respected, that's a really good one. How they're respected, and I'll bust this down to a 5 minute here real quick. 5 day will work fine. But just how you have, this is 5 minute chart, so you have the initial one. Oh, what do I do? This we're secondary. Shout out to him where he got his name. Secondary moves are safer. How do you know where the secondary move is going to come from? Pretty simple. Pre-market high and low usually determine those, or previous day high and low usually determine those because they're the most local levels you can have. So, what we got 5 minutes there. 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60. You got about an hour there as it consolidates back off the line. Then, 15 minutes to kind of get back in before we do leave that. that line for good for the rest of the day. You also see that on the other side. I mean, that's a two-way street, right? You'll see that on breakdowns as well. But it's very, very consistent, especially in the opening, let's say hour and 45 minutes. It's going to make some determinations there. Celsius, a good one, also mentioned around the level. But you can see they're clearly respected throughout the day. Why? Because the market makers make the market. They set the football field for the day, so to speak. So they really do want to keep it in the box. What moves it out of the box? We talk about that. Lots of volume. And you can see here on Celsius, 117. Usually it has 5 million, had 6 million. So a little more volume usually does push things out of the price range, especially if they're buyers. So it's a little bit more than just at a level. You have to understand that in general. I like to use red and green on a lot of things. We will get into other indicators, but when it's green, you go. Let's find a downside one. Not open today. Yeah, let's see if it's just open with a downside breakout. Yeah, here's a good downside breakout. Perfect example though. Started inside the box. Pretty much didn't make the pre-market high. First candle, what? That's the opening candle. Yeah, first candle rejected. Resistance, pre-market low. Resistance, pre-market low at what? 850. So about 2.5 hours, 3 hours in. Your pre-market, excuse me, yeah, 2.5 hours in. Your pre-market low. Again, just not getting it all the way down to previous day low. We spent the rest of the day kind of consolidating off that level. So just very important guides, especially if you're day trading. If you're options traders, especially on bigger equities, um, I don't think there's a better lines on your chart that you can have besides the previous days and the pre-market levels. And in the long run, if you use it regularly, especially consistently on this, your normal charts or the same charts, you get to learn the tendencies and things to look for, like consolidation, um, to create a liquid range and then a tradable range. Datadog's a good example this week. Kind of just ran out of shares back here. Liquidity sweep low, and liquidity sweep high, so to speak. I mean, the volume on these days isn't anything to write home about. Um, and you still have quite the movement. 133. Don't search the group there to 145. So yeah, good, just a good thing to learn. The SMAs. It's a good. Again, it's not a one check, but it's a check you should have. If those levels line up, SMAs, pre-market highs and lows, a little bit of the local support. All right, so wrap on this one. Hopefully that leads to questions. Got a little long this time, whole 8 minutes. How do we end this again? Oh yeah, as always, respect the lines, but most importantly, read the room.